a lot of that race for the spots at the back end of the rotation.
Right.
Pretty strong performances. I'm wondering, among kind of those guys, is there also like a bullpen or a swingman spot available if there end up being a few guys that kind of earn that spot more than maybe the five that
Yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity for a swing man, long man, however you want to define it. Somebody that can, something doesn't go well early in a game, we can absorb innings. Also a bridge person that could grab 2 or 3 innings to get to the back end of the bullpen. So I think it's a strong possibility. That's the way the bullpen composition would look like, having that piece involved with that.
I imagine it's also helpful that among that group that you have a lot of guys that have done that before.
It's very helpful, yes, to knowing that the likelihood of somebody going in that role is just that likely, and that there's people that have done it is also provides confidence in me with our staff.
Might that look different at the start? You have the 2 games, 8 days off, 2 games, in terms of you could have a different composition in your bullpen because a starter might be able to be a long man early?
Right, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a very unique, somewhat playoff situation, but also / earlier participation with our pitchers in the regular season game. So the situation's a little more unique, and it does provide some wonderful opportunities to be creative with how we use our pitching.
When do you think you might tell us who the opening day starter is, as if it hasn't already lined up?
Let's see, 20th. I'm not sure. We'll get to you sooner rather than later, Ace. I promise you. I promise you we'll get to you sooner. We're getting there, partner.
Yeah.
Camp's letting us know.
You've been around Robert Suarez the last couple seasons. I know it's not set in stone like where he'll pitch, but his kind of adaptability and his general mindset kind of seems unflappable. What have you noticed about the way he goes about his business that would lend itself to pitching that 9th inning if that's where he ends up?
I'm going to steal your word, unflappable. That's a good one. The guy captures it as well as anything with him. He is a guy that clearly has the stuff to pitch at the back end of games. I love his heartbeat for it. Relative to heartbeat, that just because you have a slow heartbeat doesn't mean that's what it takes. But he's not going to make it bigger than it is. And so that's important. And the unflappable part's important. And he's got the weapons to go with it. So all those things really are a nice elixir to be able to go towards it back into a game and close it down.
I think we talked about this earlier in the spring, but kind of his willingness to get that 4th out, or if the matchups are there in the 8th inning to do that, how much could that help you as a manager in terms of what he can do?
Oh, that's huge. If you've got, and I'm not saying we're there yet, but I feel like we have a really strong chance to be there, and there being, grab the last out in the 8th and then finish up the 9th. Or in certain days, certain matchups, as other players evolve and pitch well, based on situation for the 8th and 9th being somewhat interchangeable. So that's, I feel like that's going to be a strength of our club, and the bullpen having multiple pieces that can do multiple things.
With some of the infield bench options you have, guys like Rosario, Batten, Wade, how do you view that competition right now?
Fierce. Yeah, I mean, you might want to fire McCoy in there as well. He's had a good spring. All those guys have done really well and proven that they, from the past experience with them and or what they've been able to prove in spring training, they've done a nice job of creating value. They've been able to move around as well, which clearly is important, to have that versatility. They've done the little things on the bases that, we talk about how we're evaluating it. We want high baseball IQs that can compete regardless of circumstance, whether it's on the bases defensively, take a good professional at bat, and all those guys have shown that they have the ability to do it. So it's a fierce competition and tough decisions